Tales from the Treehouse.
Hello, I'm Ben from Treehouse Theatre. I'm going to tell you a story, an old story, a myth or legend. These stories have been with us for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. There are stories like them in every society and every ancient civilization that the world has ever seen. They often tell us things about how people understood the world or how it comes to be how it is. And even if the stories aren't true in a literal way, they always tell us something about what people are like or what life is for. So relax, shut your eyes, and enjoy the pictures of the story coming into your mind. Here we go. Persephone and the Pomegranate Seeds. In ancient Greece, it was believed that long ago, in the beginnings of time, there was just summer, all the time. No winter, just summer, until everything changed with the events of this story. Persephone was the daughter of Demeter, who was the goddess of the harvest, and Zeus, who of course was the king of the gods. She was a beautiful creature, enchanting to everyone that met her. And our story begins with one day she was out picking flowers with some of her friends, the ocean nymphs. They were on the field of Enna. They'd collected quite a lot of flowers already and were having the most happy time. But Persephone saw, a little distance away, a beautiful narcissus flower. She moved away from her friends to go and get it, and found herself alone for a moment. And as soon as there was no one else around to see this happen, the earth opened up before Persephone. It seemed to yawn and creak, and the rocks prized themselves apart. A tunnel opened up to the depths of the earth, and from it flew out in a great fire-rimmed chariot Hades, the lord of the underworld. The chariot left trails of smoke behind it as flames poured from its wheels. It was pulled by two mighty winged black horses with red fiery eyes. And Hades stood on the back of the chariot, his armour gleaming, his helm shining in the sun, and with black eyes he looked upon Persephone and said, "You shall be my wife. I fell in love with you the first moment I saw you, and now you will come with me and live in the underworld forever." He took her by the arm, pulled her into his chariot, and they flew back into the bowels of the earth, the rocks closing above them, as if they'd never been there in the first place. So no living soul saw this happen, except for two of the gods, Zeus, because he knows everything, and Helios, the sun god, because he was shining in the sky at the time. Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, Persephone's mother, she didn't know what had happened. She searched the world, everywhere she could. She went to the deserts, she went to the mountains, she went to the sea, she went to the fields and the hills, she went to the jungles, she looked in every corner of the world. But still Persephone was not to be found. And as she was distracted from helping the people with their harvest by looking for her daughter, the crops began to fail. They stopped growing. The leaves fell from the trees. The soil became dusty and barren as the rain stopped falling, and the people became hungrier and hungrier. Finally, in anguish, Demeter cried to the gods, "What has become of my daughter?" She finally got the attention of Helios, the sun god, who immediately realized what was happening. He came down to Demeter and said, "I am sorry. I should have told you before. Your daughter has been taken by Hades, your brother." Demeter was absolutely furious. She was so angry that she went straight to Zeus and she said, "Look what your brother has done. You must get our daughter back from him." "Your brother is powerful. His power is second only to mine. I do not wish to anger him. He has chosen a wife. Who am I to stand in his way?" "You're the king of the gods, and I demand that you do something." "Very well, Zeus. If you will not help my daughter, then I will not help your people." And she withdrew from the world, and it became cold, Snow began to fall. Ice began to form on the rivers and the lakes, and the people began to starve to death. Zeus realized he had to act, and so he sent Hermes, his messenger god, down to the underworld to speak to Hades. "Zeus demands that you set his daughter free," he said. "The world is starving, and you have upset the balance of things. Zeus's word is final, and you must obey." Hades knew this, but he also knew that there was deeper, older magic and rules that the gods must adhere to. Craftily, he said to Persephone, "Dearest wife, it is with great regret that I have to see you go. I will miss you so. Please, in order to say goodbye properly, why do we not share a little meal together?" "I am sure, husband, that you wish such a thing to happen, but if Zeus says I have to go, then I have to go." "Please, if you will not share a full meal with me, at least take this parting gift." And he offered her, on a silver platter, 6 pomegranate seeds. Now you may not know what a pomegranate is, so just in case. It's a fruit, a smooth-skinned pink fruit. When you cut it open, inside, it's packed with seeds, and each seed is individually wrapped in beautiful sweet flesh, each one about the size of a pea. "Please, Persephone, will you not take this parting gift from me?" "Very well," said Persephone, and to please her husband, and in a way thank him for taking this in such good grace, she took the 6 pomegranate seeds, and she ate them. "You do not realize, do you? Anyone who eats in the underworld is bound to it forever. You may return to the surface to say goodbye to your mother, and then you must return to me immediately." And so, for the time being, Hermes took Persephone back to Demeter. At first she was overjoyed to see her daughter. "Oh, Persephone, you've come back to us!" The sun suddenly came out. The plants started to grow again, and the people had food in their bellies once more. But Persephone told her mother about the pomegranate seeds, and about what Hades had said, and Demeter, realizing that she'd been tricked, went to Zeus once more. "You see what your brother has done? You cannot allow this to happen. Once more, Zeus, I threaten you. If I cannot have my daughter, then the people of the world will starve." Zeus realized that he was in a tricky position. He had no choice but to obey this old magic that Hades had used. It was true that anyone who ate in the underworld was bound there forever. But he managed to find a compromise. He declared, "Very well. Demeter, you shall have your daughter, but you shall only have her for half the year. For each of the pomegranate seeds that Persephone ate, she is bound to spend 1 month below in the underworld with my brother Hades. In this way we shall maintain the balance of my brother's wishes against yours, Demeter. Enjoy her for now, for soon she will return to her husband." And so Persephone was allowed to remain with her mother until finally her time ran out and she had to return below. As Hades claimed her and she was taken away from her mother, her sadness reflected in the world around her. As the sun retreated behind the clouds, the sky became grey and cold. The earth froze. The plants died or dropped their leaves. Snow fell upon the earth, and the lakes and rivers turned to ice. But only until Persephone could return to her mother another 6 months later, when the sun would shine once more and the people's crops would grow, so that the harvest could feed them for another year. And so began the cycle of the seasons. And in this way the Greeks understood how the seasons worked, and had the basis for their great pagan celebrations. And that's the end of my tale, as I heard it said, and if there's a fib in it, I'm off home to bed. I hope you enjoyed our story today. If you want more, just subscribe to our YouTube channel or our blog. And if you'd like to draw or paint a picture to go with the story, we'd love to put it on the video or on the website. So please share it with us by taking a photo and sending it to treehousetheatre.com, or you can share it with us on our Facebook page. So until next time, cheerio!
Tales from the Treehouse.